As soon as you stand up and move, your muscles immediately demand oxygen, prompting the nervous system to signal that the body is no longer at rest. This is what happens to the cardiovascular system when the body goes from sedentary to moving, and how a simple walk acts as a mechanical upgrade for the 1.39 billion people worldwide currently living with high blood pressure. While most people assume walking is too gentle to count as medicine, cardiologists see a mechanism that changes blood vessel behavior and regulates pressure, often starting within minutes of the first step. We tend to view the heart as the main character of our internal story, but the real protagonist is the highway system it serves, known as your blood vessels. A pump can work perfectly, but if those highways become stiff, narrow, or dysfunctional, that pump faces resistance it was not designed to handle forever. The cardiovascular system operates quietly without warning, emails or pop-up notifications, which explains why hypertension affects more than 1 in 4 adults globally, and many have no idea because the condition often carries no symptoms. Research on over 111,000 people highlights that you do not need a marathon to see changes, because measurable cardiovascular benefits appear around 2,700 steps per day compared to just 2,000. That same analysis located the sweet spot for cardiovascular disease benefit at approximately 7,100 steps per day, proving that walking acts like a gentle maintenance cycle that runs clean water through your biological pipes so sediment never settles. Your body is not fragile, nor is your heart waiting to fail, but rather it acts as an intelligent protector that adapts to whatever you repeatedly ask it to do. If the request is to sit, it adapts to stillness, but if the request is to walk, it initiates a specific timeline of physiological changes. The process begins in the first 2 minutes, a phase we can call the ignition. As soon as you stand up and move, your muscles immediately demand oxygen, prompting the nervous system to signal that the body is no longer at rest. Your heart responds by beating slightly faster and stronger, not out of panic, but as a responsive engine adjusting to the new demand, like a car's power steering kicking in. This increased blood flow brushes against the endothelium, the sensitive inner lining of your vessels, which triggers the release of nitric oxide to help those vessels relax and open up. You do not feel it happening, but this chemical traffic signal makes your arteries more cooperative, which is one reason walking is associated with improvements in blood pressure over time. From minute 3 to minute 10, a shift in pressure occurs that contradicts what many people expect. While it seems like activity should raise stress, the truth is that walking often reduces the pressure your heart pushes against because the vessels have widened to create less resistance. The same volume of blood moves more easily, similar to widening the lanes on a busy highway, and intervention studies repeatedly show average reductions in systolic and diastolic pressure because this mechanical process leads to better signaling. Your breathing creates a rhythm that gently influences the nervous system, nudging you toward a calmer state once you settle into a steady pace, effectively changing the internal messaging of your body. When you push past 10 minutes, you enter the phase where repetition begins to train the system. Repeated walks act as a daily practice run that trains your heart to pump more blood with each beat, eventually allowing it to work less often while you rest. A large 2023 meta-analysis found that a brisker cadence offers mortality benefits beyond just step count, proving that you are upgrading your system to handle demand without strain. There is a second layer to this story because walking changes the environment your heart lives in by keeping arteries springy rather than letting them turn into stiff tubing. This becomes secretly powerful right after you eat, as movement helps smooth out blood sugar spikes and supports vascular function when the body is metabolically busy. One study notes that post-meal walking and carbohydrate restriction have been shown to mitigate post-meal hypoglycemia and improve endothelial function in type 2 diabetes. effectively acting like warehouse staff processing a delivery so boxes do not pile up on the loading dock. Even without diabetes, preventing these repeated sharp spikes softens the edges of daily stress on your blood vessels. Over weeks and months, these small moments compound into what clinicians see as higher efficiency, where the cardiovascular system becomes confident enough to climb stairs or recover from stress without panic. Modern wearable data has overturned the old belief that exercise must be intense to count, revealing that significant risk reductions for all-cause mortality start at approximately 2,517 steps per day. The optimal dose for mortality sits around 8,763 steps, while the sweet spot for cardiovascular disease is roughly 7,126 steps, meaning the steepest benefits happen long before you hit 10,000. Perhaps the most reassuring finding for real humans with busy lives comes from a 2023 study in JAMA Network Open. Researchers looked at adults who hit 8,000 steps only 1 or 2 days per week and found that even this weekend warrior pattern was associated with substantially lower all-cause and cardiovascular mortality risk compared to doing nothing. The protective effect plateaued around 3 days per week, which means your body still benefits from whatever consistency you can manage, even if you cannot walk every single day. While walking is one of the safest forms of activity, those with chest pain, unmanaged blood pressure, or known heart disease should seek medical advice to ensure they start with a plan rather than heroics. Ultimately, the answer to whether your heart is calm or strained is not a simple yes or no, but a relationship defined by how your vessels respond to the signals you send. Benefits begin in the low thousands of steps, so this quiet, repeatable tool tells your cardiovascular system to stay ready and capable without the need for punishment or fear.